So the youth intake has come through. It's probably a good idea to have a quick look at it and see what's going on there. So youth intake, wow. I think this is the best youth intake we've had throughout this entire series. Hello and welcome back to Around the Block. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to another episode where today we've not actually gone that much further into the future, but the Regen Day has come around and it's looking like a pretty decent one. First things first, we'll just quickly talk through the two fixtures that we've played since you were here for yesterday's episode against Dioscure. We played the cup game against that team from the 3rd Division, and if I move my head, you can see you don't really recognise any names there because we pretty much played a B team / under-19 team, a reserve team essentially against this 3rd Division side because I thought we could rest the players up for the Peripherals game, and it worked out nicely for us because we won the cup game 1-0, which was great with a guy that I've not seen before scoring goals. Don't expect him to play. I'll probably get rid of him come the end of the season, but he scored a goal for us, which was nice to see. We rested all our good players up for the game against Peripherals, who are top of the table, and we won. It was brilliant. Ben Spiro scoring one of the goals and Andreas Rado scoring another one. He's a backup striker that we had. He was just on the bench of this game, and we brought him on towards the end of it to just try and inject a bit of pace into the squad, and he scored a goal, but he's on £4,500 per week, 2.5-star current ability. He is definitely leaving come the end of the season because that is far too much money to play or to pay for a player who's only made 8 appearances this season and 2 last season. He can't be at the squad any longer. Oh, it's not even that. He's only made 2 appearances for the first team this season. It's the second team that he's made 8 appearances for. That's even worse. Even worse, he's got to go. I'm very much looking forward to restructure the squad come the end of the season. I'm really looking forward to doing that. But as you can see, the green continues. It's looking fantastic. And that win against Peripherals puts us up to 5th in the table. And we are only 3 points behind MTK in those European spaces. I think we can do it. If we can just keep that form going, we can do it. The TomFM effect, everyone. Anyway, I suppose what we're all really here for, it's the youth intake, isn't it? It's a good one. It is a good one, I'll tell you that. And the Patreons seem to agree because 6 players, that's right, have been snapped up. Anyway, let's have a quick look at this youth intake then. And wow, just look at it. Look, it is absolutely phenomenal. It's such a good youth intake. We've got 2 5-star players. We've got a 4.5-star player, and then we've got 3 4-star players, and you can guess which of the 6 players out in the whole entire youth intake that have been given nicknames. It's the top 6. So what we'll do then is quickly look at this top 6 and then rename them once we get in there. So according to this, the best player that we've got already with 2-star current ability, so he's virtually on first team quality already, I would say, is Christian Telek, although he's not going to be called that for much longer. Instead, the central midfielder is going to be called just simply Rossili, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Easy for me to say as well, so thank you very much, Ross, for that one. I massively appreciate it. But at 16 years old, with things like 16 balance, 16 decision-making, 16 passing, 15 work rate, determination of 14, I think Rossili can go quite far in the game. So hopefully we see some good stuff from him. The second best player to come through with 5-star potential as well, but only 1-star current ability is Thomas Manga, and he is also a central midfielder, so potentially a new partnership forming in the future for us. Of course, he won't be called Thomas Manga for much longer. He is now going to be called instead Joel-Cat Schmidt-Stack. Something like that. I've not typed it. Oh, why has that not gone through? There we go. Joel-Cat Schmidt-Stack. I think that's a pretty funny name. I like that one. It's not actually a funny name. That's rude to say, Tom. Don't say this. Of course, people are just adjusting their names a little bit to make them sound a bit more Eastern European. That's kind of the theming that we've got going on, which I massively appreciate people sort of getting involved in that because it's quite funny to see. But yeah, a good name, this one. Also, massive fan of teamwork, of 17 work rate of 12 is very good. Determination is low, but of course we can get him tutored up with someone who's got some decent determination to boost it up a little bit. But technicals where they matter, like 15 passing and 14 first touch, it looks decent, so a big future for him as well. Next up, we move on to the 4.5-star potential player, Attila Borsi. Looks like a very good centre-back with a really good jumping reach and really good tackling as well. Get that heading up a little bit. He could be an absolute force at the back at 6'6" tall. 19 years old, seems a bit old to be coming through the youth system, but it doesn't matter. He's got 2-star current ability, so again, could be verging on the first team for his next season as like a backup player. But again, Borsi is not going to be called Borsi for much longer. Looking at my little list of names, Borsi is now going to be known as Sam Sheltescu. It's probably not how you say it, but I know Sam's done a bit of research into some Romanian names because he's Romanian and has said that that's a sort of typical ending for, or a popular ending for Romanian surnames and stuff. So Sam Sheltescu looks pretty good to me. And we've got another good centre-back coming through. The fourth best player coming through in terms of potential ability, according to the assistant manager and stuff, is a 6'4" centre-back. We're going to have a very tall back line in the future. But Richard Grabant is no longer going to be called Richard Grabant. We'll get onto that in a few minutes' time. But again, where they matter, he's got some really good attributes. Marking of 10, tackling of 10, or marking 11, sorry. Jumping reach 14, bravery of 17 is what you like to see. You want a brave centre-back who wants to head the ball. Again, heading could be increased a little bit, but at 17 years old, that's going to increase massively anyway. Again, determination is low, but again, tutoring will bring that up and we can get up to like 10 or something like that, and that'd be pretty decent for us. Richard Grabant is now going to be known formally as Timo Berkozo, which I think is brilliant, if I'm honest with you. And Timo, obviously the guy who's done this, apparently does wrestling in his spare time, and Berkozo is wrestling in Hungarian, and that makes sense to me. Like, I think that's a very clever use of wordplay and stuff there. So props to the thought there, Timo. I don't think I could be a wrestler personally. I think I'm a bit too nice to be a wrestler. Get on the floor and let me pin you, please. Next up, Joseph Sakuti. He is a right back, so another good defender coming through, and hopefully will be a nice wing back in the future for us. Has got pace, acceleration, and all the physicals that you need. He's really all there physically, I've got to say. Mentals are not pretty bad either, to be fair. Work rate of 17, you love to see it. Teamwork of 15, you love to see it. Again, determination a little bit low, but we can get on that. We can build them up again, so it's absolutely fine. And the technicals where they matter are pretty decent for 17 years old. So I think this guy, Joseph, is going to be a very good player for us in the future. But again, not going to be called Joseph for much longer. Now going to be known as Jordani Jack, which I think is brilliant. So our new right back and potentially playing as backup for us next season, Jordani Jack. And finally, moving back into the midfield, another centre midfielder, but can also play on the left-hand side. Christian, something like that. That's potentially how you use that accent down the bottom of the S. Christian, I think, is potentially how you say it, but we don't have to struggle with that much longer because he's being renamed as well. But again, has got really, really good attributes, I've got to say. Can play with both feet, which is really good to see. Teamwork is 17, work rate of 14. I'm loving this like high work rate and teamwork. This is what I look for in players, and I think that's a great thing to have. So I'm really happy with that. Again, we can push determination up with a bit of tutoring and things like that, but passing, technique, first touch is good. Dribbling is very good as well, so could make him a nice winger as well, as his crossing is not too bad either. Physicals are a little bit low, but he's 18 years old. He's going to improve in all areas, so hopefully another great player for us. But also, he is now going to be renamed, the final player that we're going to be renaming out of all of this, and he's going to be called Danny Jones, with a Z on the end, which Jones maybe is a bit more Eastern European. I like it though, it's pretty good, and I can actually say it, which is quite nice. So there we go, that's all the youth intake. They're all the players that we've renamed, and I'm looking forward to it. This is by far the best youth intake we've had for a little while, and once we get a few other of the youngsters come through from obviously Naftan and then into Martin, there's a few that want to try and bring over. Again, some just never wanted to leave Martin or Naftan for some reason. Like, I've tried to get some players. I remember when we moved to Martin, I tried to get some of the regens from Naftan, and they just said no, we don't want to come. We want to stay at Martin, and didn't work out too well for them because they got relegated, didn't they? But to everyone who donates to the Patreon, a massive thank you to all you chaps there who have donated and got your regens in the game right now. Also, want to say a massive thank you to some new ones as well that have come through. The Patreon's having a really successful time at the moment, so if you're not on board with that already, get yourselves down in the description, click on the link to the Patreon, and join the Patreon just like the new members, which are Toby, thank you very much. Thank you to Jeremy Finley as well, and to Matt B88, who is a really nice guy. I really like Matt. I have a lot of interaction with him over on Twitter, and he's just a really solid guy. He's been a long-time supporter and viewer of the channel. Matt, that means a lot, so thank you very much. So onwards with today's episode. Now, the next game we've got coming up is this Hungarian Cup quarterfinal second leg against that third division side. And I thought, brilliant. What we can do is get the regens in and start to play this game and use the regens in it. And that'll be absolutely fantastic. What a great way to introduce them to the squad. Issue with that is all of the youth candidates have literally just come through, I think on the 11th, and that's the day we're playing this game as well. So we can't put them into the first team because they're all on trial until we offer them a contract, but they're not going to accept a contract in the space of 4 hours. It just doesn't happen in Football Manager. So unfortunately, we can't use all these guys in the cup game today, which is a great big shame. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is play this game off camera because we're going to win it, I'd say. It's a third division side. We won the first leg very easily against... We're using our kids essentially already. So I'll play this game off camera and then we'll come back for this ZTE game, which I think will be good fun. They're second in the table as well, so it's going to be a big test. So hopefully we get a good result against them. In the meantime, our star striker, Bence Biro, is being frustrated about not being allowed to move to Saudi Arabia. A bid came in for him from a Saudi Arabian club, we rejected it because he's our star striker this season. He's got, 13 goals and 21 league appearances. It's good going. When you balance it all out, actually, he's got 13 goals in 11 starts, 10 substitute appearances, and overall 16 goals in 16 starts in all competitions. So he's done very well, I think. Obviously, the sub appearances have added to his goal tally a little bit, but he does very well in terms of his goals per 90 minutes. Either way, he's not very happy with us right now, so rather than try and talk him around ourselves, Van Neef, can you please go and talk to him, please, and try and sort this one out? He says he can do that, which is great, but he is unable to unsolve Byro's unhappiness. So it comes down to us then to have a little chat with him. Come on, old Byro lad, what's going on here? I'm disappointed that you've blocked my transfer. Joining them would be a great chance to become a more important part of the squad. Mate, you're our star striker already. I mean, it says squad player. We can increase your contract if you want us to. What do we say here? We want to keep you. What's it going to take to keep you here? Let's say that. I need a team to be built around me. I need assurances that I'm going to be a star player. That might be pushing it a little bit, Bents. But he does score the goals. He is 4-star current ability. He's on quite a bit of money. We can maybe look to bring that down whilst giving him star player status. But we do want to keep him, and we want to keep him happy. And we told the board, let's have a quick look at our promises. We said we'd improve media handling and have an acceptable dressing room atmosphere, which we need to keep, otherwise we might get sacked. So I think we do need to say to him, sure thing, we can give you a star player sort of thing. I mean, we don't necessarily give him a new contract, do we? We just have to change his squad status, don't we? And I'm not quite sure how we do that. Okay, I found it. I've had to Google it, but I have found it. Right-click on the squad screen, go down to squad, go down to agree playing time, and it's already at star player because we agreed it in the meeting apparently, so it automatically did it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's all sorted. He should be happy. And in even better news, the kids once again beat the third division side 2-0 this time, so we've gone through into the Hungarian Cup semi-final. You'll love to see it. This could be such a successful season for us, and we've not even had a full season at the club. We've just come in and just turned it around. I'm loving it. I'm loving life here at Puskas Academy. If we just forget that the government gives us all our money and it's a little bit dodgy. Also, at the same time as us playing ZTE, our current under-19s are playing against the youth candidates, which is quite exciting. So hopefully, we'll see, like the youth candidates just batter our current under-19s, and then we know we're in for a good time. And they went on to go and win 2-0 with Sham Seltz. And they went... Or turns out it was before our game, but either way, they went on to win it 2-0 against our current under-19s, with Danny Jones scoring one of the goals as well, and Sam Sheltsku getting man of the match. You love to see it. Anyway, it's time for us to get serious now. You've been sat here for a little while. I apologise for how long it's taken to get here, but finally, we are taking on ZTE in today's game. Kiss in goal as per usual, with a backline of Antovsky, Roos, Gornek, and Iles. Pal Iles is there, the young right back who's got 4-star potential, 3-star current ability now at 19 years old. So he's looking like he might be a starter for us next season, but does need to grow into the wing back position. He's more of a full back, so we need to train to become a wing back and things like that instead. But he's looking pretty good. Dardi and Georgievich in the middle, with Cortez, Tusi, and Stina in the attacking midfield. And of course, the boys already made a bit of a mess this episode by stamping his feet a little bit to become a star player. Bence Byro, our star player up front. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today, taking on ZTE, who are second in the table as it stands right now. So winning this game will go a long way to getting us into the top 4 and limiting their progress to try and win the title ahead of Ferencváros. We need to get a good result against them. We've got a counter-attack coming right now as Tusi runs the entire length of the pitch. But as he got into the box, his legs were just so tired, he could barely kick the ball at the goal, and in the end had a terrible shot, which was easily saved by the goalkeeper. Better than that, please, lads. Better than that. He's 6'3" as well. He's got long legs. He should be easily able. And he likes to lob the keeper too. I'm not sure if that's a great player trait to have, if I'm honest with you, but there we go. Either way, he didn't try to lob the keeper in that situation, so he's doing something wrong. Anyway, we've got to half-time. We are slightly on top of the stats, but it is 0-0 right now. And to be fair, that's not the worst result in the world, especially if they are second in the table. ZT have obviously had a very good season, but the way we've been playing, our form and things like that, I kind of expect us to get the win here today. Especially because we did beat Ferencváros not long ago, so I feel like we beat them 2-0, not just like an easy 1-0. It was a 2-0 win in a game where we actually controlled it. I can show you the match stats if you want. Like, we did really well in that game. So I'm expecting us to do something similar here today. As Stina wins the ball, Stina coming forward with it into the area, not quite the area, but on the edge of the area, and shoots. And it's not a bad shot, but it's a bit tame. This time we're going to try and build from the back, apparently, as Gornek on the ball right now. Can he put it forward to someone? No? Into Tusi, into Djordjevic, and now we've got some space through the middle. We've got lots of space out wide, but we don't use it. We put it into Cortez instead, and the keeper makes a fantastic save right at the death there. That was very important for them. Stina's corner comes in, and it's cleared, so nothing much coming from that, unfortunately. But we do potentially have a chance to counter-attack, or not, because the highlight finishes. Come on, Bents. You're now a star player. We've given you what you want. Perform like a star player would perform and score us a goal or 2 or 3 if you feel like it. I mean, no pressure on you, but, you know, you have made moves about wanting to be a star player. So I'm expecting star quality moves off you, and that's not a star quality cross at all, as Cortez can't win the ball back. Playing it out from the back are ZT right now as they look to bring it forward, although we are putting them under pressure, and they've made a mistake there. Stina wins the ball into Tusi. Tusi out to Djordjevic. Cortez shoots, and again, we still can't put it in the back of a net. Let's go a little bit more attacking. Let's say get creative out there. 20 minutes to go. Bent Spyro. I'm not feeling it, if I'm honest with you. I'm not feeling it. So we'll bring Jardy on for you instead. That's probably not the best move, is it, actually? He's not Matt Sharp. Stina's looking tired, so we'll bring Skribek on for him on that right-hand side. I think that might work out nicely. And I think we want to bring Van Neef on in the defensive midfield for... Let's bring on for Dardy, okay? It's maybe not the best option, but we have to change something out there. Maybe a fresh player sort of to try and pull the strings a little bit and take a good free kick and put it wide of the post. Might change things up a little bit. Come on, lads. 10 minutes to go. We have dominated the second half. We are all over ZTE. We deserve this victory today. Come on, lads. Get in there. Get stuck in. And let's not concede right now. Let's not concede right now. Is this going to be our first loss? It looks like it, doesn't it? It genuinely looks like it's going to be our first loss. Oh, the mistakes made here. Just not really picking up Lukic. The tackle on him was pretty... In fact, there wasn't even a tackle. He just ran past him. Let him have a free shot on goal. You hate to see it. Get creative. Very attacking. We've dominated the game as well. 57% possession. 19 shots to 7. But sometimes these things happen. And this is our first loss with Puskas Academy. The first loss. Aggressively, far from pleased. We dominated that second half, and yet I think they had one chance in the second half, and that was the one chance they took. You hate to see it. And what you hate to see even more is it puts them top of the table as well. We could have stopped that, but no. Not brilliant. Well, considering that we've only done 2 games in the last 2 episodes or so, which is a bit less than usual, I think next episode we go for a 3-game special. We do both legs of the Hungarian Cup semi-final against Kaposvár, who are in our division. who are 5th in our division. So they just overtook us in the league, so that'll be quite an interesting game. And we'll do this Debrecen game in the middle as well. We've got a very nice stadium, may I add, as well. So thank you ever so much for watching today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you have done, please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, a massive thank you to all the Patreons. I couldn't really do anything without you guys. You guys are the backbone of the channel, so thank you ever so much. Really massively appreciate you lot, especially in the times at the moment. So if you want to get involved with Patreon, there's a link down in the description to check out if you want to as well. And let me know in the comment section if there's any other perks you want to sort of see on the Patreon and things like that. I'd love to get your feedback on it as well. So thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.